I was in the United States, going to a college over there. I was abused sexually. I was. I didn't. When I went to girls' camps, my hair he say push up his hand underneath me. I took it to the principal, and they did nothing. They have him there. Still, some of these coaches abuse the athletes, sexually molest them. They have to walk with their heads down, right? And all these things underneath the carpet, just sweep it under. And they feel like it doesn't affect us. That affected me for years. When I got a scholarship over to the United States, my coach, Coach Larry Carmichael, I was scared to go over there because I thought I was going to be molested. Mr. Carmichael didn't even touch me, right? And I had an environment in which to progress. Now, here in Jamaica, we don't have a central hostel for the athletes. We are doing so well. We don't have a proper weight room. I've been to the National Stadium and they chased me out. They called police on me at Emancipation Park and I'm sitting down reading my paper. They chased me out of Emancipation Park, out of Mandela Park. Mandeville Park is the only park that have come Mandeville people. They have helped me. And I thank Mandeville people in Jamaica for helping me. My mother is from Upper Lincoln, Manchester. My great-grandparents are from here. And this is the only parish I come. And I've never been treated like a puppy dog. They treat me like how they treat the dog on the street. Hit them, lick them and abuse them. Worse than a dog. Not even a sheet of zinc. And they're going to say, Olivia, I'm the problem. I'm a troublemaker. I'm a this, I'm a that. And I don't make trouble with people. I'm like a lamb to the slaughter. I tell them Jesus is not coming here to go on the cross with no two thieves. You're styling Jesus with no two thieves. But one thing that gave Jesus the props up, one of the thieves on the cross said, remember me when you're going to your kingdom. They didn't hear. Pilate and his Barabbas friends. They said, give us Barabbas, crucify Jesus, crucify Olivia. They give CD and OD to these people. They don't even know community service. Order of distinction and order of merit is gone to the dogs. It's gone to the dogs now. You win 2 gold medals and you get it. You don't know about community service. You don't know about anything else. Because the people in authority, the way they get there is not hard work and determination and faith in Jesus Christ. You hear what I said? But the half has never been told.
Miss McKoy.
The half has never been told.
Miss McKoy, Tony Culture again. Listen, I'm telling you, listening to you, and I've been doing that attentively. I am so convinced, not necessarily just by you, but because I am aware of the kind of system that you're talking about. I want to ask you, has there been no one at all in Jamaica who felt your story, heard your story, know your story, and rallied as an ally for you on your behalf?
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. A wave of occultism is permeating the atmosphere in Jamaica. A wave of, you know what? To thine own self be true. You can only lie to yourself. And the moment you see me and call me crazy, I am not the one calling you crazy. You are calling me crazy. Is it the one calling me crazy who is crazy, or the one not calling you crazy who is really crazy? You tell me. I'm asking you a question tonight. Is it the one calling me crazy who is crazy, or the one who is not calling you crazy is not crazy? Who is crazy? Do you understand the logic of my question?
I certainly do.
Yes. So you tell me who is crazy, the one not calling you crazy or the one calling you crazy?
Listen, I'll answer it this way. Those who cannot hear...
Because, you know what?
Yeah.
The moment you start calling me crazy, it tells me who you are.
Exactly.
Because you cannot hurt another man without destroying a part of yourself. Because the moment you start hurting me, that's where your hurt starts.
Yep.
Miss I want to answer your question
Hmm.
this way. Those who cannot hear the music will consider those who are dancing to be crazy.
Okay,
Hmm.
okay. So the
Yeah.
wisdom of this world, so God's wisdom is foolishness to the unwise then. Because when Jesus was on earth, he spoke in parables. And only those who were close to God could understand the parables that Jesus spoke. Because if you're ignorant to a thing, then it is foolishness. It is foolishness to you.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. I'm a math teacher. And when I introduce algebra, trigonometry, geometry, and all these different topics to a person who is just familiar with basic arithmetic, let me say not even familiar. You can't even count. Then trigonometry is going to be like a foreign language to you. If I
Hmm.
say, tu habla español, buenos días,
Buenas
buenos
noches.
tardes,
¿Cómo
you're
estás?
not going to understand because you don't speak Spanish.
Hmm. Hmm.
So if there's foreclosed on your mortgage and you decide that a shelter is not suitable for you and you'd rather hit the street under a street light and put up your blanket and sleep there, you and your little baby until help comes. And you're going to be called crazy because you decide not to live a conventional lifestyle. You're living a non-traditional lifestyle. I throw a non-traditional implement. Javelin is non-tradition to Jamaica. It is foreign. When I trained in Jamaica as a javelin thrower, you know what they called me? They said, where did this Arawak Indian come from? That is how they said I'm an Arawak Indian. Because they don't understand this philosophy behind javelin throwing. I've never trained here. I've always trained abroad. So when I come here to train, I don't have any rest. I'm ridiculed. They don't come and learn from me. And let me give them a clinic in javelin throwing. They rather deny the fact that I'm an expert in javelin. Come and learn from me that you can become more than break my record then.
I'm not surprised about that.
They're just hypocrites and bad mind, crab mentality people.
And I want to emphasize for people listening, the they that I am agreeing with Miss McCoy is anyone who join in to persecute her, ostracize her in some form or another, without knowing her story. I'm knowing her story for the first time tonight. The first time tonight. And I'm listening to Miss McCoy talking, and I'm quite impressed, very much so. And I
You
don't,
see these people in Jamaica?
yeah.
These people in Jamaica, they don't welcome strangers. Now, you are a country of 2.8 million people. You are a developing country. When the foreigners come here from the United States, from Canada, they rob them, they rape them, they steal them from them. They don't they don't create an environment where foreigners can come into the communities and visit and meet the people. They create an environment of hostility, of violence, of robbery. When the people leave here, they don't want to come back. So we suffer. Another thing that I've observed, because I'm about to start a book. It's called, I did industrial organizational psychology. It's a psychology of the industry. So I've been out here on the streets doing a thesis, a doctoral thesis. It's a ghetto thesis. It's not a formal one. And it's based on how I see the people, the industry of the Jamaica, the psychology of the Jamaican industry. I am not going to go into the intricacies of that, the details, but in a nutshell, there are communities here in Jamaica, and for every community you have a little town. Let me give you an example. Say you have a community by the name of Rima in Kingston. Not all the people in Rima are bad people. As a matter of fact, people are not bad because they were created good. But in the front, you'll have a bunch of guys. And when you enter that community, you're either robbed, raped, watched to see where you're going, and abused. You don't get to go inside the community to meet the decent people who want to effect a change in the community. You see the little rats, the little rogue, the little they call them what do you call them? They call them hoodlums.
Yeah.
In the front, they scare you. You cannot go inside. These are the people you meet on the front. Why the government? The central government, you have a central government here and you have a local government here. You have central government election, the JLP in charge. On the 28th of November, you'll have a local government election in which you choose councillors. You choose councillors, and when they get into the position, they sit down on their laurels. The markets are dilapidated. They're in a state of squalor, graffiti enriched, right? The roads are dirty. The streets are, the people they eat, they have a belly full, they sit down, they leave the papers on the street, right? They don't teach the children. When we were going to school, we had a song named Bits of paper, lying on the ground, make the place untidy, pick them up. Those were the songs we used to sing.
Yes.
Children were coming from Villa Road Primary the other day. They were 9 years old. They came in front of me. I said to one of them, repeat the national anthem of Jamaica. They did not know. I said to them, repeat the national pledge. They did not know. I said, it is unfair for me. I'm a teacher. I don't have a job. You have teachers in the school system not doing their job, and they would rather call me crazy and have me here than hire me. When I go to the schools, I can see the children want me in the schools. They fight against me. They find reason to call me crazy, to put me down, not the kids. The head, the vice principal, and the principal, they have something to hide. I don't have anything to hide.
Ms. McKoy, may I ask?
My life is an open book on the street. They see my day-to-day, everyday movement.
Ms. McKoy, I want to ask you something. I don't
compare my lifestyle with their lifestyle. I am doing nothing wrong.
Correct. Ms. McKoy, I want to ask you a question because I want this to be asked and to be answered if you don't mind. What do you need of anyone who may be listening right now and they care to help you or assist you in standing up, rising, and pretty much bringing about a change? Because I understand clearly what you're saying, and I'm sure you can see, you can visualize some means of getting of a change. You understand where I'm coming from?
Okay, let me. All right. First of all, before the highest need a man. Well, I'm just talking about the physical sense here. I'm not going to the spiritual realm. The highest need in the physical realm that I have heard is a term they call self-actualization.
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about self-actualization. I'm talking about the basic need: food, shelter, clothing. If you can feed me, the first basic need is food. After that, shelter. After that, let me say clothing and then shelter. Now, if you who have an 8 to 5 job, do not, after you have left work and you are exhausted and you don't have a roof in which to go and sit and unwind, get something to eat, change your clothes, and prepare for the next day's activity. Because you don't have a proper bathroom, you don't have somewhere to shower. Would you feel very comfortable? No. So my thing is, I am not going to live where I cannot read my Bible and pray to my God. I don't want to live in a hostile environment where people are cursing bad words, are fighting each other. I cannot focus. I cannot have godly peace. That is not an environment I want to live in, and I don't want my child to live in, and I don't wish that for anybody. So, in terms of help, when I'm on the street, sometimes I'm so peaceful because at least I'm not locked up by any grill and I'm not being abused. So, if somebody is helping me, I you help me, I help you. To provide an environment where you can do your job, you can prepare my lesson plan. I can go in. If I have a job, I can change my clothes, I can put on my clothes, I can do just like any human civil society,
Right.
a civil
Right,
society.
Olivia,
That is
give me one
on the
second.
road, on the road. I have clothes, I get food. The sky is my roof for the time being. Sometimes I shelter under trees. Sometimes I use a cardboard to shelter. Sometimes I don't have a shelter. Sometimes I bathe in the rain and dry in the sun. But so if that can be had, with all due respect, I would very much appreciate that. I have never gone into anybody's home and caused any problem. I have never gone into anybody's home and break up anything. I have never gone into anybody's house and behave like a hooligan. Right? I have never gone to anybody's house and steal their things. I have never gone to anybody's house and put their money in my pocket, steal their jewelry, spray out their perfume, use their roll-on, steal anybody's panty, steal anybody's slip, steal anybody's food. I've never done that.
You're only trying to be you. You're simply trying
Let
to be
me
you.
let me interject. Stop. Let me interject. I must also say that um, after I spoke to Olivia yesterday,
Yes.
I created a GoFund for her, and the GoFund is on my page, and it's been shared, I think, maybe 300 times. So we are in the process of raising funds for her, and I told her that our main concern is to get her off the streets. And tomorrow, Keno's uncle, who's a bishop, that we in conversation today learned that Olivia knows is going to go meet with her tomorrow, and that is the focus, to get her an apartment and get her off the streets so she can relax
When I'm on the
and get her
street,
head straight.
when I'm on the street, I see mentally ill people on the street. I help them. I share what I have with them. I still go back to my parents' house and I still find out what is going on with my mother and my father. My brother, I check on him. I still stay out here and I have my schedule. I get up in the morning, 4:30, 5 o'clock, if I'm not too tired. I go and do my business, and I still maintain a schedule out here. I do my training still. I have a road race. The NCU road race is coming up on the 20th of November. I'm going to get registered for that. And I still act like I'm inside. I try to just I still try to keep my sanity. It's not easy out here. And sometimes I say, God, it's only you why I am still in my right mind. Because I've been through it. I've been through it. I have gone down there to speak with a psychiatric doctor, and she counsels me and, talk to me. And I've always wanted to become a psychologist or counseling psychologist or psychiatric doctor. Never realized that I would be subjected to all this inhumane behavior. People say they're helping me, and when they say HELP, it's HELP minus P plus hell. Give you hell.
Miss McKoy.
As a math teacher, that's how I analyze it. That's how I create the equation.
Miss McKoy, do you have any idea how many people you're actually teaching tonight by sharing your story? Do you have any idea? Because that is exactly what you're doing. And in doing that with us tonight, I'm quite sure you may even do that with people in the streets that give you a listening ear who care. Because there are many people, there's a lot of people out there who care, I'm quite sure.
Well,
You've met them.
apart from, I do my own personal preaching ministry. That's the way I get my little money sometimes. If I don't ask for an offering. Whenever I witness, because when I was a little girl growing up, I grew up in the Adventist church, thanks to the Adventist church, and I got baptized when I was 11 years old. When I graduated from St. Jago, I went to the NCU, which is an Adventist school. And I created my own ministry based on the teaching. So I used to witness. I remember when I used to witness, I used to bring like 20. I got Bibles for when the church bus would come to take the people to the crusade. I would have most of the people in the bus. And when they go under the tent, they said, "Who bring the most people?" And I would stand up. I was a little girl. I didn't even know what I was doing. And I would have all the people in the church, and I would get a big Bible. And that's what I knew. Now, the last time I remember getting some people into the church, I had to leave on my scholarship. So I wasn't able to actually stay there and help mold these new converts. So they were on like, I'm the shepherd, they're the sheep. They were on their own. So I trusted my friends, Tracy Carvey, Yolanda Davis, my sister, while I went on my scholarship overseas. I didn't want to take that scholarship, but I thought, let me just go. I got an academic scholarship and I got a track scholarship. I got a John J. Murray scholarship from the business. I got all these NCAA Division 1, All American stuff. Some of them were just coming. I didn't understand all these things that I was getting, but now I understand them better. Anyway, my thing was always to become what God. I do my singing. I want to be a gospel singer. I do my dancing, my choreography, and God is just opening up my wisdom to more talents that I haven't tapped into. But I was a preschool teacher at the Premier Learning Center in Atlanta. Volunteer at the DECAP. All these things. So I know that God wants me to do something for Him, and I was like, Father God, I don't know why I'm going through all of this. I was on the road. I see prostitution on the road, and I was, all these things, and God has really kept me.
That's what I was about to say. I think you're the only person in this unique situation that could survive this situation. Another person would not be here as a testimony to say, I've been through this. Here's my struggle. This is what it is.
When I didn't even know what prostitution was, and I remember I was in New Kingston, not to break into what you're saying, but I just wanted to I was on the street, and I went beside a lady just to seek refuge beside her, but I didn't know what she was doing. And I said, when I saw these men coming up to her, I was like, Miss, what are you doing? And she told me what she was doing. And in the morning, it was about like 5 o'clock, she said she's leaving that spot. And I was like to myself, I hope people don't think that's what I'm doing. And she said she's going to another parish to do prostitution in the day. So she was prostituting at night and she was prostituting at day. Sheena, Akeem, that was the earliest I've ever reached church. I ran to church that morning and I was, God, thank you for what you have been saving me from. I remember I went up to this gentleman and I was like, sir, I don't have any money and I'm asking you if you could just help me. The man took out $3,000 and said, I can help you, but you have to follow me to that motel down the street. I said, sir, thank you, but that's not what I'm about. You understand?
Yeah,
I didn't steal. I said, I would rather people see me begging than stealing or doing something wrong, because if I do these things, my situation is going to get worse.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's going to get worse. Sometimes I'm like, God, I don't know what more do I need to pray to you about? I think I've told you everything. I prayed for my son. I told my son, Romain, you have to help your mother pray. You have to help mommy pray. And my son started praying. And when my son prayed, he said, my mother is not crazy. My mother is not crazy. Leave my mother alone. I didn't want my son to see any more of this. I had to seek refuge for my son. I didn't want him to see mommy going through all of this. My son deserved a childhood. He was growing up too fast. I was a teacher. I taught my son everything I needed him to know. I said, God, let this cup pass from me. I cannot handle it anymore. When the lady came for my son, I followed, I slept, I let him see that I let him see that mommy is conscious of you going. He gave the lady a bite on her arm. The lady didn't retaliate because he did not want to go. I said, Romaine, you have to go because mommy needs you to be safe. Right? I said, Romaine, you go to Nazareth and you be obedient and do what Jesus would want from you. They called me. They told me my son wants to get baptized at age 6. I said, thank God I haven't failed my son. I did not fail my son. It was because of the situation I was going through. I didn't want him to stay in Jamaica. It's a hard place for a child. I didn't want him to be here. So that's why I had to send him. They didn't take away my son from me because he was being abused or because I'm crazy. I was in my right mind when Romaine had to go. We made agreement between the both women. Her husband did not come. She agreed. I was talking to my son. Then whatever happened or whatever people conjure up in her head about me and she buy into those stories to ostracize me from my son. Woman, the same God that let you come here for my son is the same God that's going to let you present him to me in the name of Jesus. You don't know the mystery of God. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know how my heart is broken. You don't know the sacrifice I went through for my son. Me being on the street is not because I am a stupid woman. It's because I had to run away from the cruel place I was living in, Belvedere, St. Andrew. I didn't have any money. My money ran out. I couldn't afford rent anymore. I spent so much on my son to take care of him without a father. So when you're trying to make the whole Jamaica see me as crazy, the whole Jamaica is going to see you.
The information in this section of the broadcast has been edited for reasons of confidentiality.
USA as the crazy one. Okay.
I'd like to say something, Miss Olivia, real quick.
Okay.
I'm sitting here and I'm listening to your story and I'm crying. It's amazing. I have to say you're one of the strongest women I know, especially the part about your child, because my granddaughter, she's 4, and she lives with me, and I can't imagine going through what you're going through and have to give your child up to get a better life. I'm sorry, but you're really strong. I couldn't survive that. And
you know,
that's the truth. I couldn't imagine. I guess you can't. You don't know what you could do until you're in that situation.
Listen to me.
I see
all these CDA persons and all these homes that are severing these children from their parents in the name of the woman being crazy, the woman walking up and down with her children. Many of these men, they get the woman pregnant and they don't stand up to their responsibility, and they are the men who turn around and start downing the woman.
Yes.
Jamaican men need to be in America. You cannot have a child and don't take care of the child. The system in Jamaica, these men have these women pregnant, getting them pregnant, and they are running around. Irresponsible, not taking responsibility. I did not rape Romaine's father, and Romaine's father did not rape me. I was in my conscious mind when I got pregnant. When I got pregnant, I was happy to be a mother. I was 33 years old when I got pregnant. I prepared for my child, right? I did my studies. I was ready. It was a hit in my head that played the vital, the straw that was drawn that I had to put my son in a safekeeping. I could have sent my son to New York with Vanessa Campbell, who was my cousin. I didn't send him to New York. I could have let him stay in a situation at CDA. When I sent my son to CDA, my son had a scratch and ringworm in his head. When I asked them how my son got a scratch and a ringworm in his head, they couldn't tell me, right? They weren't fit to be a mother more than how I'm fit. This woman who is sending me derogatory emails that I should take my son's name off the internet. All these mothers all over the world that post their sons' pictures on the internet. They need to take them off before she can give me that command. Right? Romain is my gold medal. Apart from the crown of life that I'm trying to get from the Master King Jesus, God himself. Romain is next to it. No silver medal, no gold medal mean more to me than my son and a crown of life. And if I'm supposed to take he said, I am not going to talk to Romain unless I take Romain's picture off the internet. And if she Googles Romain's name and see Romain's name, Romain's pictures were on the internet before she got my son, before she came here. And I gave her permission. When she got Romain's father didn't sign to it. There was no witness to it. I just trusted her because God told me to. Right? Whether it's a written agreement or a verbal agreement, it's still an agreement. Right? Yes. She said she wouldn't cut my son's hair. She did all these different changes to my son. She went to the hospital and she did things and didn't tell me. Right? And when I told her to send my son back, she's going to say I'm a crazy woman living in the street. So what she wants me to do, to live in the street, let people think I'm crazy. I don't have a home, so I wouldn't qualify to get my son. But in the name of Jesus, I bind that up, I cripple that up, I send to the pit of hell what this woman is trying to happen to me.
Miss McKoy.
Amen.
She did not come and see Romain on the street. Nobody in Jamaica.
Miss McKoy, may I interject?
When I went to the court, the judge gave me Romain because they realized that I didn't want Romain at CDA.
Miss McKoy.
They gave me my son.
Question, please.
In 5 days, into CDA, they had to give me my child.
So currently
because I was not a fit mother.
Is your son currently with you? Or is...
me?
Nah.
He's not. All right.
No, he's not.
Hold on. I just want her to answer because I want to have a little combo where she's hearing me and she answers. Did you ever relinquish parental rights of your son to her?
Okay. Let me tell you what happened. Because I believe in our God. When she came here, she said to me, Romain would have two mothers. That's me and her who would take care of Romain. She would bring, I'm telling you exactly, I'm not lying what she told me.
Okay.
She said Romain would come every summer to visit me. She would send updates of the school records, which she did. She sent to me once. She said Romain, she would send pictures of my son, which she did for the moment. And then I gave her, she gave me all these promises. I did not see a need to write them down because of the God I serve.
You just trusted her, yes.
Yes, I trusted her because God told me to. In America, it's a contractual country where you write down things and you contract. That's their business.
Right.
My thing is, I needed help. She came. God told me to trust her. She didn't have a child of her own, so she doesn't really understand the fullness of a mother's birth tongue. So she can do whatever she wants to do. I gave her Romain's passport, Romain's social security. I gave her Romain all his immunization records were up to date. Nothing was missing. She cannot lie on me. Romain didn't have a scratch. Romain cannot tell her that I hit him. When she came in, Romain was in a home. Even if I had him on the road, several mothers in Jamaica have their babies on the streets. When they're selling, they wrap them up the same thing, right? No, I didn't feel like I had it. When she was going over, I signed a contractual parental agreement because that's by law. You cannot bring a child into the U.S. unless you have some documentation. She negated on the verbal agreement that he had. The written contractual agreement that I gave her, that's her business. But she did not honor her agreement to me. No. When she came here, I didn't have a witness. Romain's father was not there. Nobody was there for me to vouch for me that I should. When I sent Romain there, I was like, I need help. God told me to trust this woman. Romain said that my son, he was 3 years and 7 months and he was on the breast. He got off the titty cold turkey, right? The lady told me that Romain was coming to her for titty, but she didn't have any titty to give Romain, any breast milk. But I thought at 3 years and 7 months, well, that was enough time for him to come off. Now, he said, he started crying and said he wants to go back to his mother and he doesn't know why mom is sending with them, but they're nice anyway. So I trusted him saying they're nice, but he wants to come home. They put him on the phone to me and I said, Romain, Mommy could not come with you and I'm very sorry, but these people will take care of you because I don't want anything to happen to you. Then he started trusting them to take care of him, right? So all of a sudden now, she said she's not going to put any more pictures. She's not going to send any pictures to me until I take off Romain's name off the internet because I'm violating his rights as a child. I said to her, you need to go to Germany, England, France, Ethiopia, all over the world and tell these mothers the same thing that you're telling me.
She's attempting to manipulate you. She's attempting to manipulate.
And that sound out of whack. That sound like you are mentally... I'm mad. I told them I'm the craziest woman. But you sound crazier than me because that doesn't sound like you understand what a mother is going through.
Now, Miss McKoy.
If that's the only reason
Miss McKoy, excuse me.
You're giving me not to speak to my son, then you need to take him back to me because you're not a fit mother. That is not... Go and tell every mother.
Yeah.
Go and tell the 2.7 billion people in China that who have their little ones on the internet. The 300 million people in the United States that. Go and tell the people in Cuba that's 100 miles from us. No, 90 miles from us. Yeah. Tell the people in Haiti that's 100 miles away from us. Tell the 2.8 million people in Jamaica that story. And any one of them will tell you, I can't take off my baby off the internet, Facebook.
True that.
That's how I exalt my child. That's how I show love for my child.
Miss McKoy, allow me to... Miss McKoy, allow me to just... Miss McKoy.
For not me not talking to my son.
Miss McKoy, in the interest of time, allow me to just interject because I totally agree with you. Because just today I put my son up, and that's how we do our children, and we have every right to do so.
Right.
You know, so I agree with you totally.
No law in the world. I don't see any law that tells you can't do that.
Well, according to what you're saying, this woman is attempting to manipulate you to try to take control of your son.
Right. And I agree with Tony. It was her way of controlling you and hiding the fact that you are the mom from not only him but others. I am not taking away anything from her. I am not taking it away from her. She has never birthed a child. I consider her. I sympathize with her. I said the best place to send Romain is with this lady because at least that would give her a chance to be a mother. Romain is my prized possession. She doesn't even understand that.
Absolutely.
And for her to send me an email, she sent me an email and say, I am a mad woman, and the whole Jamaica knows me to be mad. Well, and I need to get a life.
Obviously,
and
she's betraying your trust.
And I'm smelly, and I'm stink. I'm like, Jesus Christ Almighty God.
She's unworthy of your trust, apparently. She's very, very much so.
I am going to send you, I sent Sheena, I sent you a copy of that text message from her. And I'm
I
going to
did, I'm
go
sorry.
and send you all the copies of the emails, the text messages, and the email that this lady has sent to me. She don't deserve my child.
Yeah.
She's not worthy than me.
I just wanted the audience
My
to.
son is not used to that. My son is. I don't even let my son hear me arguing. I don't want him to see no violence. She's telling my son grown-up stuff. She's getting my son involved in this mess. I don't want my son to be involved in this mess.
Right, true. I just wanted the audience to understand exactly, some of the details of that. Now, currently, what is the situation with your son and that woman and you right now, currently?
She said, Romaine, all right, Romaine is 7 years old.
She still has your son,
Romaine
right?
Is 7.
She still
Yes,
has him.
Romaine is 7.
Yeah.
And she's telling me that when I called to talk to my son, Romaine has never said he doesn't want to talk to mommy.
Right.
But based on what she's telling my son about me, all right, when I call to talk to Romaine, you know what she's telling Romaine? That I am going to take him back to Jamaica and I'm going to do this. And my son doesn't know me like that.
Right.
When I called to talk to my son, she said, Romaine doesn't want to talk, or she does not want to put Romaine on the phone. She stands there. She listens to everything Romaine is saying. Romaine cannot talk his mind freely. She has Romaine hostage, right? When Romaine father calls to talk, because you know what? Romaine father, as it to say, people told Romaine father I'm crazy too, which he buys into. He knows I'm not because he knows me. I gave Romaine's father the number to this lady for him to call for himself.
And obviously he is in America.
Ask question about his child.
He
you
is
know
in-
what the woman does?
He is in America, right? Is
I
he
think
in
it
America?
is fear.
Is the father in
No,
America?
he's at Jamaica.
Where is he located is what I'm asking. Where is he currently located? Where is he currently located? Where is he currently located, the father?
He's in Sligoville, St. Catherine.
Okay.
I gave him. When I didn't want to tell him anything, because as a single mother, he didn't stand by me. So, but I didn't want to get Romaine involved
Right.
and tell him anything about his father.
Exactly.
I gave Romaine's father the number to the lady who has Romaine because he had it to say I gave away his child. He doesn't understand that I was robbed, hit in the head, and I what I was going through.
Right.
I was telling him, and he doesn't want to listen to me. So I said, okay, I am not going to argue with you. I'm going to give you the lady's number, and you call her for yourself. When Romaine's father called, she cursed Romaine's father. She tells Romaine things about his father. Romaine knows his father, right? Irregardless of the fact that he did not stand by me the way I wanted to stand by me, but he's told a lot of lies, so I gave him the number for himself to call.
By the way, how old was Romaine when you entrusted her with your son? How old was Romaine at the time?
Romaine was 3 years and 7 months, April 10th, 2013.
And he's currently 7 right now?
She came here on the Monday.
Is he 7 right now?
She came here on the Monday. She spent the Monday night. She spent the Tuesday night. I slept there with them at the hotel, and then I followed them to the airport to see that she was indeed taking my son overseas. He lives in.
Yeah.
When she went over there, she called me. She told me that Romaine was fine, and I got to speak to him, and I realized that where she was going, that's where he is. She came out here. I told Romaine that this lady, I told him everything. Before the lady came, I briefed my son. I briefed him. I said, Romaine, somebody is coming to help me with you, He couldn't understand, but he could understand some of it. I said, Mommy, you're not going to see Mommy for a while. You're going to be fine. I cried. I couldn't believe that I was doing this, but I had to. You understand? It was something that I didn't want to do, but I didn't want for Romaine to be on the road, even though he would be safe, for people to think that. I mean, there are several mothers with their children on the road.
Right.
Several mothers in Jamaica.
Miss McKoy, tell me, so right now, just like how you can call and talk to us, if you were to call that number now to talk to Romaine, will she allow you to?
Okay, I want you to call the number. The number is
No, don't say.
859.
Hold on, Miss McKoy, we're on the air. Don't give it out on the air. I just wanted to know this. I have to clarify things from the perspective of the audience.
Okay, the last time when I confronted her about this situation, I told her, she said to me, I don't want to deal with this anymore. gave the number to my husband, and from now on, you call his phone. The number that she gave me to her husband, he doesn't answer the number, and when it goes into voicemail, it says, this voicemail has not been set up yet. So she is in control of everything. I spoke to her husband once, just once. He came on the phone, he spoke to me, and I explained my situation.
Okay, Miss McKoy, allow me to do this.
Every other time, it was her who was doing all the talking and manipulating the situation.
Yeah, Miss McKoy, please hear me. Your story is not going to be completely told tonight. We are going to have you again on the show, so we're going to have a whole lot to talk about. But I just want to, in the interest of time, I want to bring Sheena in. Sheena has something to say, and then I want to also try to open the line so people can ask you or talk to you. And mind you, we have to limit the callers in terms of the time they spend with you. But Sheena, go ahead, please.
Actually, I think the big question that everyone keeps bringing up, which I think it's only fair that we ask, is everyone's asking about the job at Hillel School. And I think because everyone's been making assumptions on it, I think you are the one to shed light on it and let everyone know what happens with that job.
Okay, let me tell you, I am a person like this. I am going to speak the truth. When I was on Oxford Road, 2013, my old father is 80 years old. He said, Olivia, I have $1,000. My father cannot do any more for me. He's old. I'm the one supposed to take care of him. When he gave me $1,000, I said, if I go to the restaurant and I spend this $1,000, it's going to go just like that. I prayed. I said, God, I want to start a business with this 1,000 Jamaican dollars. In the morning, the Spirit came to me and I said, if I can encourage somebody to sell bag juice, I can do it myself. I'm not ashamed to sell no bag juice for my survival.
I am totally with you on that. I am totally with you on that. Totally with you.
I went to New Kingston. I bought 3 bags of bag juice. I remember I bought a phone card out of the money to call my son the morning, Romaine. After I called him and spoke to him, I had the change that was left. I bought 3 bags of bag juice. As a matter of fact, I was short. I had money for 2, but for 3, I didn't have enough. I saw this guy who was hustling bag juice, and I asked him the intricacies of selling bag juice. He offered me a makeup, and I was able to buy 3. I jumped on a bus. I didn't even have any ice. They had ice in them. Went to New Kingston, and I started selling the bag juice. Same time, I saw the Observer van drove up. Brian Cummings, who is a photographer for the Observer, he recognized me. He said, is that Olivia? And I said, yes. I was in a different world. I wasn't in no track and field world, no celebrity world. I was just being me, trying to make a living to help myself to sell my bag juice. I promised myself that I would sell 1 million bag juice. That's what my target was. When the story broke out, the Observer came up with the story. Miss Hyacinth Bennett called the Observer Donna Jose White. She was the writer of the article. Donna Jose White said, Miss Hyacinth Bennett would like to talk to you. She's going to offer you a job. I went for several interviews in the New Kingston areas. However, I was praying to God that the next time I go into the classroom, I want to teach the middle school student. Miss Hyacinth Bennett did not confirm with me before she went to the Observer and told them that Olivia confirmed with Hillel. I did not confirm with Hillel. But because I wanted to teach in middle school, I said, okay, it would be an opportunity to go and teach the middle school experience, get the middle school teaching experience. I taught preschool, high school, tertiary level. I said, okay, let me get into the middle school and see how these children behave. Now, I went to Mrs. Bennett's office. I gave her my curriculum vitae, which is a resume and a cover letter. I accepted the offer. She was giving me $42,000 a month, minus $2,000 for NHT, NRS, and whatever else they were taking out, I don't know. They were giving me some meals there, and then they stopped giving to me. I left Hillel with a belly problem. Anyway, when Miss Hillel, she said I must come on the campus to live. She said I was going to be a house mother initially. I went into the house. I was supposed to be the house mother. I got to meet the girls. They were track and field girls and ladies, I would say. She didn't tell me that I wasn't going to get that position. She hired somebody, but she didn't tell me. Anyway, I moved out of the dorm. She put me into the Dean's of Discipline's office. I didn't have a bathroom or kitchen. It was just like I was still on the outside, but I did not complain because I wanted to see where this was going. She took me to the dean's room. She put me into the staff room to live. The staff room with everybody coming, I could not bathe, I couldn't shower, anything at all. I said, Mrs. Bennett, how much more are you going to move me on around this campus before I can sit down and write a decent lesson plan so I can go ahead and focus on teaching? I started the August. The August I helped out. It wasn't time for intellectual knowledge. It was just the track and field athletes who were training in the August session. So I helped out, train the athletes. Hillel moved from becoming 5th place in the girls' championships to up to 2nd place. Okay, I didn't charge them for that service. I was a math teacher, a literacy teacher, and occasionally I gave some Spanish lessons voluntarily. Now, I never disrespect Mrs. Bennett. I never disrespect anybody. They always come in to make trouble with me, maybe to see what my response would be. When I confronted her about the living situation, she said to me, Olivia, you're not in the street, so whatever you get, you should take it. That's what she told me. Whatever you get, you should take it. Therefore, if you take me off the street, if you jump out of a frying pan and you jump in the fire, you should take it. Mm-hmm. That's the impression I was getting. So now I'm off the road out of the frying pan into Miss Hyacinth Bennett environment, which is the fire. I should just get burned, and I should have nothing to say because I'm a mad woman and whatever. Now, I come to recognize that Miss Bennett was a member of the NDM, and she was just seeking a political ploy and self-exaltation of my plight, my homelessness plight, my selling bag juice plight, and my every other plight. Because I'm a mad woman. Okay. Stick a pin. Now, I'm moving from a point now and I'm going to a quart and I'm going to get to the gallon. So just bear with me.
I love it.
And then we're going to get to the ton, but that is another time. Listen to me now. When I was very exhausted doing Mrs. Hyacinth Bennett work, I went to school on time. I dressed in black every day because that was my uniform. As a professional, I chose my black color, which they were like, Olivia's in black and she's mourning and that means death and whatever. The school color was like blue, yellow, and I think blue, yellow, and another color. I wore black because I didn't want any distraction and I didn't have money to be buying suits every minute. And the pay I was getting, I had to put it back into supplies for the kids, chalk, whiteboard marker, and they gave me a laptop and I had to be buying supplies for the laptop they gave me. Anyway, one Saturday morning, I was very tired. I invited Romaine's father to the campus. He took some ground food for me and he cooked it in the dorm room, the staff room, because I had to be playing hide and seek. Mrs. Bennett gave one of the custodian workers who was new a key to the staff room and she did not tell me. When the staff members left to go home, I took off my clothes to take a shower and I heard the grill rattling. I became suspicious and I went there to find out who was that at the gate. The guy was coming in on me. Before I get into Romain's cooking and everything, let me talk this first. When I consulted Mrs. Bennett in the morning, I said, Mrs. Bennett, a guy was coming in on me to bed in the staff room and you didn't tell me. She said, oh, you don't shouldn't talk about that because this is the way we live here. You should let him come in and bed. I said, Mrs. Bennett, I could not let that man inside. Because she said, I hired him. He's a person that used to work here, and I hired him 2 days ago. But Mrs. Bennett, I didn't know that he was hired here, and I was scared, and I didn't let him in because it was night. The campus, I was the only one on campus sometimes at night. I thought I had a right to do that. I was disrespectful of him. I just told him that I couldn't do that. I was naked, and the man was coming in on me. So the next issue now, when I invited Romain's father, regardless of how he treated me, he came there with some yam and stuff from his country, and I told him that I wanted him to help me wash some clothes because nobody was helping me. Mrs. Bennett had all the help, and Olivia was supposed to be the slave, and she wasn't supposed to get any help. I made sure I did not invite anybody to cause any problem on Mrs. Bennett's campus. I didn't invite anybody that was detrimental to her or to cause a problem. And if it weren't Romain's father and somebody was coming in, I would tell her about it. Apparently, when he came there the morning, everybody was gone and he cooked and we were eating and fellowshipping. I don't know who told her that I had him on the campus. She came there. She didn't ask me anything. She came. I don't want this man on my campus. I don't want this man on my campus. Get him away. I said, Mrs. Bennett, he's my child's father. He came here to help me. You have all these people helping you. You don't respect me, Mrs. Bennett? She called the police on me. On him, not on me, on him. To disgrace him, to disgrace me. I said, Mrs. Bennett, that is not the way to behave. When she called the police chased him out and bring him to the station. I said, he's not a criminal. You cannot treat my child's father like that. I said to her, Mrs. Bennett, I am going to deal with principle. It's not the worth of the matter. The fact that you gave me a job, I'm being paid, I need to get my life together, I need to come out of madness, I need to come off the road, is the fact that you're taking me out of the frying pan, and dropping me into the fire. She called the police like he's a criminal, and she took him to the station. I told the police officers, I said to them, do not leave Olivia. Because if she cannot trust my judgment to bring a guest on campus, then you don't trust me as an individual working for you. I tell the police officers, I said, give me a couple minutes. I'm going to pack my things, and I am going to let them drop it off at the police station too. Because in no matter where him do me, if he's a criminal, then me's one too. So I tell her to drop me at the police. I said, Mrs. Bennett, I thank you for this job, but with all due respect, I cannot tolerate this embarrassment, and I got to go. I worked, volunteer for them, August. They don't have to pay me for that. She paid me for September. She paid me for October, a part of November, and when I left, she gave me a paycheck. She sent it to the Andrews Memorial Hospital place where I was living, hospital, and she gave me that month's pay. So anybody who thought I'm a person who run off my job and I'm a mad woman who is not stable-minded and I don't want anything in life and I'm a bum and I'm a this and I'm a that, please get this right. You are wrong. You are wrong. Amen. I have a story for myself. Nobody but Olivia can tell my story. Maybe Romain can tell you a little bit about my story. And maybe people who, my life is the only book you are reading right now, you can tell a little bit. But it's me and my conscience who can tell the true story and God who made me.